time for The View, America.
Please welcome our two bachelorettes, Britt and Caitlin.
The final rose just dropped last night, and the controversy over next season's Bachelorette has already started. Why are there two of them? And a 4-year-old girl going viral for shutting down a bully who called her ugly.
I came here to learn, not look pretty.
Cynthia Nixon's having a Sex in the City reunion right here and flashing back to when she was a little darling.
Every time they meet, this is what happens.
Yeah, I got a question. Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Judd Nelson talks about the 30-year anniversary of The Breakfast Club and how he's storming onto the mega hit series Empire. This is The View with Whoopi, Nicole Wallace, Rosie Perez, and today actress Garcelle Beauvais and Mario Cantone are jumping into the co-host chairs. It all starts now.
Welcome to The View. Hey, so The Bachelor gave his final rose to contestant Whitney Bischoff last night. Not that I watched it, but I heard. And a big change was announced for the new season of The Bachelorette. Apparently, 2 of them have been chosen, but the 25 male contestants will choose which of the 2 will be the one that they're gonna woo. Now, not only are these girls gonna get rejected twice, I feel bad for them. I really do. Don't do it. Too late. You're in.
Well, I know it's a new thing for them trying to, do the 2 girls and having the guys, but I feel like it's another, like you said, another rejection again. So these girls, hopefully they're getting paid well. That's all I'm saying.
Are they going to do that on The Bachelor, where there's going to be 2 guys and the
No,
winner gets
they're bachelorettes.
I wonder.
I don't know if they'll do that.
Yeah, I wonder.
You know? Then what's next? Naked threesomes?
Naked threesomes? How else would you want to do a threesome? In clothing? I don't think that works.
Yes! You don't want everybody to know what you're doing. You stay dressed.
But
Be
don't you
slick.
think that's what happens when they get that little key? I mean, I think that already happens.
I've never seen the show.
I have never seen it either. What key did they get?
Trista was a bachelorette, like in the 80s when the show first started. And I thought, right, Trista?
Yeah,
Remember Trista? She married Ryan. He
I
wrote her
think
a
it's the
column.
80s,
Yeah.
too.
I mean, it was a long time ago. Trista, she has like 6 kids, so it was a long time ago.
From him? Were they still
Yeah,
married?
they're still together.
They're still together?
Yeah. Okay.
Man, it's unbelievable.
But two things about this franchise. It's wildly successful for ABC, for our employer here. I mean, lots of people like it. I mean, I think we're the only people not watching it.
I have to say, this season I watched it.
And you loved it?
I did. It's
And it was
kinda
the girls or the
campy.
boys? It was the boy?
What? The boy was
bad
good.
boy.
He was
So
good.
the boys are more popular. Chris.
Chris
He
was really
from
popular.
Iowa.
It was really nice. But you know what? It's time for a black bachelor. It's time for a black I know, but I'm saying for ABC. I know you guys had one.
Well,
last
listen,
week.
what about the guys?
They just got Blackish, so let's give them some time. Okay.
Wasn't there a year where they said he was the first bachelor of color? He was whiter than me. I was like, oh,
He was a Latino, the Latino man. He was Latino.
Pablo, who was terrible.
It was
Oh, Juan
freaky.
Pablo.
Right.
Oh, he was the one that made the gay comment, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he loves the gays.
Well, take a look at him. You know why.
Yeah.
Hey, you know. Wow, did I say something wrong? I'm sorry. I just feel like Juan Pablo wasn't telling us everything.
No.
Now, how about this?
I love when you speak like that.
You know, what about this? Parents who are positive reinforcement folks with their kids are getting a warning from a new study that found that praising kids too much can turn them into narcissists with a sense of entitlement later in life. Now, do you think this is correct?
First of all, they were Dutch. I'm just saying.
What does that mean?
I mean, they have...
At one point.
No,
Wasn't this a
I don't know. They have all those.
Brooklyn
They have all those locks and stuff. I don't know. I just
Yeah, and wooden shoes.
I'm not taking parenting advice from the Dutch. My child is perfect, and I tell him so every day.
I actually agree with I think that too much praising is too much. I think if you say, you're great, you're good all the time, I think it's better if you're specific. I like the way you put your shoes away. I like the way you pick up your clothes and put it in the hamper. As
How old
opposed
are
to
your
everything
kids,
is
though?
great.
I mean, isn't it sort of a different, like my child's 3, so you know.
Child, well, I have 2 7-year-olds, but I also have a 24-year-old.
Yeah.
So I
So
raised
have you
the person
evolved,
already.
like, as they've changed? I mean, I've
Yeah,
gotten
and I feel like my older son is a little bit more entitled,
Yeah.
and he has no reason to.
You always
No,
screw up
yeah, he does.
right?
No, oh, yeah, he does.
He
Listen,
learned it.
I'm sorry. Mothers like us,
Yes.
who are on television and in the movies, our kids do feel entitled because they get stuff from everywhere. Of course they feel like that. But, you know, in the olden days, my mom would say, that was nice. And she went on about her business. Or she would not say anything if she did not feel it.
Oh.
But, you know, I think it's okay to give your kids some...
overdo it?
Listen, if you overdo it and you don't teach your kid right from wrong, it really doesn't matter. So if the kid doesn't have the basics, they're not going to know that even though I'm telling you you're great, you actually still have to earn your
No,
stuff.
I don't think anyone's advocating that. I mean, because that only hurts the kid. I mean, they're only in your house for a couple of years, and they can't go out into the world and be jerks.
A couple of years, 18.
No, but I mean,
40.
once they're interacting with other people, they have...
40 years.
Yeah. But, I mean, with Alex, you seem like you sort of spoke the truth, because Alex has got an OBS thing.
Well, I told her what I thought,
Right.
you know, and I went out of my way not to hurt her feelings because I heard how adults around me, not my mom, but adults around me spoke to their kids, and they hurt their kids' feelings.
Yeah.
And so I knew I didn't want to do that. And I think a lot of this reflects parenting. How you parent your child. If your parenting is uneven, you're gonna have issues, I think. But what do I know?
My mother never said that's good. You did a good job. And
Right.
I don't
And
I
you're
don't feel like,
fine.
I don't feel like a narcissist, but I absolutely have entitlement issues. I want everything I want. I do. But if I raised a child, if I had my own kid, I don't know what I would do. If that child was screaming, here's a stuffed animal, shut up. I'd give them anything they wanted to shut up. I wouldn't know how to raise a child. I would panic.
You know what? That doesn't work. You run out of bribes. So you do have to. I mean, I always think of your relationship advice. Like, you have to be honest.
Oh,
If the kids being, but
Here's chocolate. We're going to Disney World. Just shut up.
I think there's got to be a balance.
What about all this? I'm interested. A principal at a school here in New York has left a lot of parents upset, freaked out, because she's abolished homework, saying kids work hard enough all day in school and need time to relax and play. Now, we should say, these are like kindergarten through 4th or something. This is not high school that they're talking about.
No, they're talking about elementary level. Here's the thing. It's become a national debate. There are parents who are taking their kids out of that school because she has abolished homework. And the debate is, they're saying that students who are from K through 5th grade, kindergarten through 5th grade, if you give them way too much homework, it becomes counterproductive. They get overwhelmed, they get stressed out, the teachers get stressed out because they have an immense amount of homework to check off. When the kids get back to school, they're waiting for feedback from the teacher, and all the teacher does is, you got an F, you got a D, you got an A.
Right.
And so what they're saying is that that's counterproductive. I don't believe in the elimination of homework. I think that when you give a child a task, it develops critical thinking.
Yes.
And that's very, very important. And it's also very important for kids to feel responsible for their own work. And so that's it. That said, kids are inundated with too much homework. K through 5th graders shouldn't go home and have 2 hours of homework. I think that they should have maybe 30 minutes of homework. And I also think that there should be a partnership that is stronger between parents and teachers, so that the teachers teach the parents how to teach the kids.
Amen.
I agree with you.
And everything would go so much smoother.
Let me ask you something. I'm sorry, baby. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I was saying I agree with you to a certain point that they should be a little bit of homework, whether it's reading, just a little bit. But I also think kids need to be kids, and they also need to learn life things, to be responsible within the family. You have to help set the table. There are things you need to do as a family that I think kids they don't get to do because there's so much homework.
Well, also with the national obesity
Yes,
epidemic, I mean, kids aren't moving enough, and a lot of public schools have eliminated PE. When my kid gets out of school, I'm going to go run around and be outside. I mean, we've got fatter kids than we've ever had in the history of this country.
But we also have
important for homework, because I'll tell you this. Once your child goes into junior high school, all bets are off. All bets are off. If the testing system becomes very different, the teaching becomes very different, and they go from classroom to classroom to classroom. They are not in the same class, and they're not given the same care and attention. So therefore, they are left alone to figure things out on themselves. So you need some type of structure of homework to be applied.
You need some sort of structure, yes. But I will say, to me, K through 3, that's not the homework time.
Well,
That is not as a kid, when I was in first grade, second grade, third grade, you started getting something. But when I was little, you learn how to make a letter, you know, or they were trying to teach you Dick and Jane. You know, they show you the book. You're a little kid. You like the pictures. You look at the book, and then you start. They evolved you into this. So I agree with you, but I think homework should not start in the first grade, first, second, third.
I agree with you. I think it has to progress. It has to progress over the years. It can't be. You know, the time of how much homework and how complicated it is has to progress. The teachers must be like, whoopee, no homework. I'm going clubbing.
No.
No, they can't do that, because what will happen is that they will fall back. They will fall back in regards to the standardized tests that they have to adhere to. So it's not a win-win situation for teachers either.
No, it's tough. It's tough for our teachers now. That's all right. Well, now you know, Jack. Hey, you know what? We're gonna go and come right back, because what? We got more hot topics? Yeah, we do. Denouncing the 47 Republican senators who wrote an open letter to Iranian leaders, warning them that any agreements Obama makes without the approval of the Senate can be easily reversed by the next president with a stroke of a pen. Basically, they're saying, if you make this deal with the United States, we're coming in next, and we might just change everything. We might just kill the deal. Is that good?
It's pretty... I won't say unprecedented, but it's pretty rare for Republicans to address a foreign leader. But I have to say, the root of this is the incredible distrust of Iran. And I hate that we're fighting with our friends, the Israelis. We're fighting amongst ourselves. The enemy is Iran. Iran is the country that represents a grave threat, not just to our country, but to Israel, who it pledges to wipe off the map. And this also, there was a lot of hubbub last week. We went on the air as Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu was addressing the Congress. It's why he came to the country, to talk about what a bad deal Iran is for us. So I don't like when we fight amongst ourselves when there's a real enemy here, and that's Iran.
That said, there's a certain thing called respect for our leader.
I agree.
And I think that it's an embarrassment on the world stage to go against the president in this fashion. There are other ways to obtain this, and also, with Netanyahu, that was an embarrassment. With this open letter, it's an embarrassment.
Well, there were Democrats and Republicans.
Right, but also not showing up on the bridge for the celebration of Selma is an embarrassment. And I will tell you this. Yeah, it is. And I'll tell you this much. What's also embarrassing is how insulting the letter was in regards to Iran's intelligence. Do they think that because they're from the Middle East, they do not understand our Constitution? These are world leaders as well, that they don't understand our U.S. policy. They're sitting down. And the United States are not the only country sitting down with Iran. There are other countries trying to come together to find a solution. And the thing is that there really isn't a backup plan by the Republicans. And
by anybody.
And if there isn't, and I don't totally agree with what's going on in regards to the talks, but you know what? I really can't say that because I don't know what the talks are all about, and neither do they.
Well, and the debate centers around whether we allow Iran, an enemy of this country and many others, to develop nuclear weapons. And the deal would allow them to eventually have enough uranium to develop a nuke.
But if they don't do that, then what's going to be? A 2-year plan and then
embarrassing. We celebrate free speech. We just don't like it when we disagree with it. So there's nothing embarrassing about them.
Writing a letter and saying, well, the deal is off once we come in. It's so disrespectful. It's so unprecedented. And also, it's not surprising. You know, I don't talk politics too much, but I do love my president. And I have to tell you, I love him so much. And I remember when he was, I think his first year, he was speaking in Congress, and some congressman or senator heckled him and said, "You're a liar." I was like, I have never seen an American president heckled like that. And from that day on, they have been gridlocking him. And this is why this is no surprise. It's just going along with the path that they have set up for him. And that's how I feel about it. And there I said it.
Good for you, Mario. Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah. I mean, but foreign policy has been, I mean, only 37%.
But I love my little Republican very, very much.
I love you.
I do.
The hardest thing about this is just that, you know,
Give that back.
it's petty. And people say, you know, they kept saying, oh, you know, he's an embarrassment to our country. He hasn't been. The embarrassment is how we have treated this president. And there I was just... Now, I was just about to say, and the way that the last president was treated, but it's been very different because the one thing that differentiates it is you can't tell with Obama whether what they're doing has to do with race. And given the last 4, 8, 7, how long? 6, 7 years has he been in? This has been
sure
the
to him it feels like 20.
like 1,000 years.
I would say 80% is race.
You know, but I don't.
In fairness to the Republicans, I will say this: Nancy Pelosi also did step out when Bush was in office in regards to Iraq.
Foreign policy.
Yes,
on foreign policy,
which is why I said.
But an open letter.
No one has ever done this before. And if you wonder why Europe thinks we're bizarre, this is the kind of crap that happens. Right. And then they look at us and go, what's going on over there? It's weird.
It's very strange.
But you know what's even weirder?
What is, darling?
The strangest thing ever?
What?
You know the old saying that blondes have more fun?
Yeah. What else do they have?
Heard it for years.
Herpes. No.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was making a joke. I'm a comic. Apparently, it's true. Research backs this up, says a new survey from Match.com. Ooh. That.
Yeah, what do they know?
That women with blonde hair have the most sex as well as the most sexual partners. Well, I don't know about that.
Nicole, what do you have to say on the subject?
Is there a natural blonde in the audience?
Yeah, I am not a natural blonde. That's my excuse with my husband, and I'm sticking to it.
You're not a natural blonde.
Well, I know. I'm getting my hair dyed tonight.
No.
Match. Okay. I like saying
I'm coming in blonde tomorrow.
curtains don't match the carpet. Mine either.
Oh, what? Your curtains don't match the carpet?
No.
They don't?
Carpet's bull.
The wrong turn at the drive-thru zoo that caused a family freakout. Next.
For young women, we have a viral video that you should see that we think is very empowering. Please show them.
What happened in school today?
The little boy said I look ugly.
And what did you say?
I said,
Stop kicking, baby. What did you say?
I said, I didn't came here to make fashion statement. I came here to learn, not look pretty. And the little boy said I look bad. And I said, you looking mad lately. Bye-bye, see you later, make me mad.
See what she said? Yeah.
And she's so beautiful.
Yes.
She's so beautiful.
I did not come here to make a fashion statement.
And she owned it. That's
Have you looked in the mirror lately?
That's what she said to that little boy. You know, that little boy's crying now.
Good.
And just to take you to another level, even this is sort of out there, but check this out. A lot of people take their family through safari parks while they're on vacation. People love to do this. But I don't understand. Take a look at this. Check this out. All right. Now, see this? Number one, her arm is out the window. That buffalo, look at that buffalo. Now, she doesn't know if that buffalo's going to eat her arm. That buffalo's like, hey, bitch, move on. Come on. Hey, stop the car, bitch. Stop the car. Just trying to get something to eat. What's happening, baby? Give me some tongue. Give me some tongue. Give me some tongue. Yeah, baby. Come here. Come here.
That's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I am not going on a safari.
Would you do that?
I'm not going on a safari.
No.
That buffalo was going for some buffalo milk. I mean, he was...
But you know what? Listen, I know there's a big debate, and Rosie Perez is going to kick me under the table for saying this, but I took my kid to the Central Park Zoo, and this year they have 2 new grizzly bears. The polar bear died last year, and every mother of a toddler had to explain death to their children last year when the polar bear died. These are the new grizzlies, and I think it's spectacular that my kid can see grizzly bears in the middle of Manhattan. And I'm not for zoos or against zoos, but I love that my kid in the middle of New York City can go look at a grizzly bear that would have otherwise been destroyed because they were ruled a threat to people. So the Central Park Zoo rescued these 2 female grizzly bears.
There are natural habitats without cages that wonderful charities have, such as Tippi Hedren's Wildlife, where they allow
Tippi
these...
Hedren from the Birds?
Yes, darling.
No!
That allow these animals to run free in their natural habitats where there are no cages and there's no insane tourist trying to feed them out of a car.
In defense of the Central Park Zoo, there are no cages
Did you not learn anything from Happy Feet?
Yes. I tell you what, I learned there are great zoos and there are terrible zoos.
Yeah.
San Diego has a spectacular zoo where they in. But you've not been there.
It's
It is
San Diego.
okay, so what's wrong with the San Diego Zoo? They are saving species. They are doing the
IVF.
I think a lot of great zoos.
There are a lot of great zoos. And this is also sometimes the only way kids can see any of these animals.
Exactly.
And God bless to have a zoo occasionally because at the rate we're going, might not be no animal left.
Right. I grew up.
And at the rate we're going, there are a lot of natural parks, a lot of natural habitats that can be converted to then, you know, but so what? That's saying that we deserve to at their expense for our entertainment or for our education. You could show a kid an animal. You don't have to see them behind the bars. That's just my own.
There are no animals behind bars at the Central Park Zoo.
I just taken care of more so if they were in the wildlife.
Girls,
the fact that they have medicines
no
and
bars.
they take.
I mean, I don't know where there's zoos with bars.
Girls,
There are no bars.
we're all pretty. Listen. I grew up in Stoneham, Massachusetts Zoo, the Stone Zoo, and I would go all the time.
Did you say the Stoneham Zoo?
The Stone Zoo, Stoneham Zoo. Okay. But some of the animals seemed a little stoned. There was a polar bear. The polar bear, you see them in animation, they're always white. Our polar bears were like so yellow. No, they were yellow. I was like, they need to be cleaned.
Yes, but who's gonna go in and clean?
No, I'm not gonna clean the polar bear.
And there we are. But hey, you know what? What, baby?
I'm sorry. I love growing up near a zoo and being able to do that. But you don't know how they would treat it.
The world is a zoo.
It's debatable.
It is, and the world is a zoo, and we're just looking at each other.
That's right.
That's so deep. But you know what? Somebody we want to look at? The fabulous Cynthia Nixon, who's going to be with us when we come back.
Sex and the City alum Cynthia Nixon is telling you why you'll like to watch what's keeping her up late these days. Next.
Did you ever think you'd see the day? Me with a pooch?
Mother of God, what's with the gut? Well, she's eating something up there.
That was Cynthia Nixon and me in the first Sex and the City movie, and she's here today to listen to me beg her do another sequel. Please welcome back my old pal. I love her, Cynthia Nixon. If we did do a sequel,
If we did.
What is Miranda Hobbs up to? Do you miss playing her? She was so no-nonsense, and you were so brilliant in that role.
I do miss playing her. Thank you. I have no idea what she was be up to, but luckily, it's not my problem.
You're not. I know.
It's not my problem.
No,
it is Michael Patrick King's problem, and he's always puts her in some place that I would never think to put her, and having problems I would never dream of for her. So I'm sure whatever crossroads she's would be at right now in her life, he will know.
He'll figure it out. He's brilliant that way. He's the mind behind it.
And I miss Anthony too.
I do too. My story is that I have a baby with Stanford, and then I have postpartum depression, and I'm like, I can't touch the baby. That's my story.
All right.
But it'll go another way.
I will see that movie.
We'll see you, right?
Yeah.
But I would say I hope that there's another Sex and the City movie.
It would be amazing.
I'm just going to go a little out of order here because I am such a fan. The first movie you were ever in was Little Darlings. And we have a clip of it.
Oh, yes? All righty. Here we go.
So whipped cream.
Every time they meet, this is what happens.
You were like a little Brady in that.
I played this, latter-day hippie, peace, love. Every time they meet, this is what happens. They're so aggressive. And they told me because I was the peaceful character, I would not be involved in the food fight. So that was like a big reaction that I was just going to sit and watch and tisk. And then, of course, they told the actress next to me to, really give it to me.
And that starred Tatum O'Neal and
Tatum O'Neal, Kristen McNichol, Matt Dillon, and Wanda Sante. Yeah.
I remember, you've done over 40 plays.
Yes.
You've been on Broadway a lot and off Broadway.
Yeah.
And at one point, you were doing two Broadway plays in one season.
Yes, I was.
She was going back and forth. Hurly Burly and the other.
The Real Thing. Yes.
And this new play, this is your first directorial debut in the theater.
Time directing, which
Rashida
is amazing.
Speaking, which I saw and was so magnificent.
Thank
it's
you.
Tanya Pinkett and Diane Wiest, and it's really, there's a lot to tell us about the play.
Right, it's an amazing play. It's about race and office politics and misogyny. It's about all the different sort of micro and sometimes macro aggressions that can happen to you in the workplace. And, it's about a black and white friendship that crumbles in the face of, what the boss wants.
And it's so interesting because I watch it and I'm like, some of it's like, okay, she's right. Oh no, then she's right. There's so many different points of views and you don't know who to side with.
It's really funny, which is great. It's very provocative. And what Mario says, I hope is true. I mean, that's our intention, that you keep switching whose side you're on and who you agree with and who you think is right and even who's telling the truth.
Yeah, and then at some point you're like, they're all son of a bitches. What's wrong with these people?
It's like a little tiny mini view.
Yeah, it is.
Two people.
Right, and it's like, racism, it makes us all crazy, and you know what I mean?
And I have to say that everyone is crazy for this play. And I'm not saying that because you're my dear friend. It is true. And they say that the performances and the direction is outstanding.
Yeah.
And
Look who it is.
Well, and it incites a lot of discussion, which I think is the main point of it, too.
And so, are people carrying those discussions out of the
theater? They are, and what's amazing too is we have talkbacks. We have 2 and 3 talkbacks, and the actors. I come to everyone that I can, and the actors are incredible, and they stay. And usually when you have a talkback, it's more about like, how did you do this? But with this, people don't want to so much ask questions about the production. They really want to talk about their own experience and how they react to the play. It's less questions and it's more people saying what they think, which I think is great.
People should see it because there's so much in it. I loved it. It's funny and deep and rich. Okay, your oldest daughter is going off to college.
She is in college.
She's in college. So how was that for you? Boy, time flies. I remember when she was...
She is the age that I was when I did those two plays. Yeah,
I was there.
Yes.
She was going back.
Whoopi was very important. Without Whoopi, I wouldn't.
Yes, because I'd come and see them for Hurly Burly, and then I'd go do my show. And
if it hadn't been for Whoopi, I wouldn't have done those 2 plays at the same time. Wow. So, but that's a longer story. But yeah.
What school is your daughter going to?
She's at the University of Chicago. She's happy as a clam.
Oh, look, Chicagoites.
Yeah, Chicago. my mom, who is no longer with us, she was from Chicago, so I think it's sort of, my daughter says it's sort of like going back to the old country.
It's a great, I love Chicago. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you came, and I love you too.
Thank you.
Our thanks to Cynthia Nixon. You can catch Rashida Speaking through March 22nd at the New Groove at Pershing Square Signature Theater. Go see it. It's magnificent. We'll be right back right after this.
Judd Nelson talks about going to war on the hit series Empire and if the Breakfast Club will reunite to celebrate their 30-year anniversary.
Seen people leap like that.
Thank you very much.
Taraji was here, actually, right?
Taraji is a monster.
No joke, right?
Every time I think you're the bad guy, Lucius does something, and I'm like,
no.
Maybe.
I'm not the bad guy. Lucius is both the good guy and the bad guy.
Right.
He didn't see his wife 17 years in prison. He divorces her when she's in there. He's mean to his kids. I'm just trying to help the artists.
Right.
Okay, Billy.
You're just misunderstood.
But I want to back up because you brought a wonderful picture of you and Whoopi that we wanted to share. Look at this.
Look at that.
You guys go way back.
That's from 1986. We did an episode of Moonlighting.
That's right. That's right.
And we sat around on set and waited for the stars to eventually show up.
That's right. But we had fun.
Yes, we did.
So I first really fell in love with your acting in Breakfast Club. I feel like John Hughes ever strike you at just how enduring those films were?
Well, you don't really know it when you're making it, that it has those kind of legs. But it turns out it was a very fast horse.
Yeah.
We didn't have to use the crop. We didn't have to use the spurs. Just try not to fall off. And I think that John Hughes was a very, very, very bright man. And he knew what people wanted to hear. I think he was the first director and writer to treat young people not like they were less.
Right.
They were just less old.
Yes. Yes.
But they had the same problems.
Well, all right, but back in those days, Hollywood was introduced to a crop of stars known as the Brat Pack. What were those days like? What were those days like?
I don't think that most people mean it in a disparaging way, but it's like the brats. It portrays that particular generation of actors as if they were unprofessional and like they were entitled to something. But it's been my experience working with them that everyone was on time, they knew their lines, they cared about the projects, they cared about promoting the projects. I think it's kind of a shame because it made us all turn away from each other a bit, and we're not supposed to work with each other. We're not supposed to hang out with each other, and that's really a shame because maybe we were fruit picked too soon. I don't know.
No, you were fruit picked when it was supposed to be picked, and you helped. an entire. I mean, the greatest thing is you brought an entire generation forward who had no direction to look at, and they found you guys, and. You know, it's a huge deal. My kid's one of those kids. So, but listen, you're gonna be back for the season finale, right?
I don't know what I'm at liberty to say.
Okay.
But I will say it appears I am alive.
Okay.
And for the 1.5 people in America not watching Empire, I mean, this is to me what's building into the most exciting part of the season. I mean, this was the standoff last week, and I said it on the show. I stand up in my living room. My husband's like, I'm going to cut you off of Empire because you should. But I mean, you are. Of course, you're going to be. I mean, this is what the whole thing is building to, right?
Well, I tell you, it's a great show to work on. All the actors, top to bottom, are great. Taraji is
my queen. That's my queen.
My mother is a huge Cookie fan.
Yes.
She sometimes has to, watch it a second time to understand exactly what Cookie's saying.
Yes.
And doing. Yeah. Well, we love it, and we love you, so please come back.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Our thanks to Judd Nelson. Be sure to catch Empire Wednesday night. Check your local listings. The Breakfast Club 30th Anniversary Edition Blu-ray DVD is in...
Hey, now, Garcelle and Beauvais will be back tomorrow. Thank you, Mary Cantone, for guest co-hosting.
It's a pleasure
Talk
to be
about
here.
your show, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to be at the Snoqualmie Casino Thursday, March 19th. It's a great place if you're outside in Seattle or outside.
Can I come?
Yes, I'll put you in my luggage. Oh, I can't. There's more 3 ounces of liquid in you, so I don't know. But yes, I'll be there, so come see me.
We'll be
Take
there.
us out.
Oh, have a great day, and everyone, take a little time to enjoy the view.